Oh, that was not supposed to happen.
While nuclear weapons states can exert unlimited violence over even millions of individuals, strong cryptography means that a state, even by exercising unlimited violence, cannot violate the intent of individuals to keep secrets from them. Cryptography is the ultimate form of non-violent direct action.
Hello, and welcome to Coffee with Den. This is episode 41, and I'm here. Oh, it's the two Daves today. It's the double Dave show. Dave and David.
Wasn't Multi-Dave an original potential name?
Oh, there was a lot of original potential, a lot of things that didn't work out, probably for good reason too.
We've thought about doing something that we have to do something at some point that takes our names and screws around with them.
So yeah, episode 41, man. We are on Odysee today. How about that? We talked about it last week. Last week or the week before?
It was last week. I knew nothing about Odysee until last week, and I've been playing around with it. There's definitely some interesting stuff floating about. But on top of that, it's just cool that a lot of the people that I watch regularly are just there already.
Yeah, totally. I like that they have they got a button called Rabbit Hole. So
I do like the rabbit hole.
What you're into.
That has been fun.
I'll be honest, I haven't really explored it that much. I've known of Odysee and Library for a long time. But I don't know why. I've just been a human. I've been reluctant to get around to doing the things I want to do. And but now we're there.
Yeah, we're humans. We like to sit around and kind of stagnate.
If you're on Odysee watching this show is called Coffee with Den. We've been doing it for 40 weeks. Doesn't seem like it, but it's been a while, so that's cool. Usually we just do it over on it's on YouTube technically, which is not ideal, but we're on a thing called Den.social, and that's where the hub is. That's where you can leave replies, and that's where there's a link to join the call and all that stuff. We'll show that in a minute. And then I think there's probably a lot to explore for both communities. We can look at Den a little bit, and then we should look at Odysee too, because I haven't really explored. I want to poke around on there. There's a few buttons that I can click and see what they do. That I haven't done yet.
I like
it took me a while yesterday because of the state of things in the US. Like they're not allowed to sell their you can't use Odysee properly if you live in the USA, which is weird, to me. So I had to get around that, but I did, and I was able to fund the live stream. You got to put a little token in there and say, hey, we're going to be live, and there's a whole,
I guess you went through and learned all the
thing around that. Yeah, stuff. I'll keep it simple. But yeah, so Coffee with Den. We're on Odysee. We're having coffee, and that's most of it. We'll go through the replies. Apologies for last week. I had just gotten back from a 2-week. We had a 2-week hiatus. I went to Iceland and disconnected from everything, and then we did a show last week, and I forgot all about reading the comments and the replies, which is typically something we do even first sometimes. So, oops.
It'll be fine. I'm sure most of our regular people.
And then if we run out of things to talk about, we can just talk about why I like Bitcoin or something like that. There's plenty to ramble on about. Speaking of this show, though, let's talk about the new layer real quick. We had some governance proposals that we put up last week. It is a DAO, so if you have ownership tokens or you get them in the future, you'll be able to vote on stuff. Things like what the avatar should be and what the banner should be, or more important decisions as we come up with them. Those take a week to pass if there's not overwhelming support for one option. And so I think the most we have right now is like 41 or 42% commitment on one of the options. And so I imagine during the show today, because it's 1 week, right? So during the show today, at some point, all of the decorations and artwork will flip on, and we'll just notice.
Oh, I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
even think about that. It'll just kind of because it'll be right at that time period.
yeah. It'll
Time
the
period.
voting window will expire, and then whatever has the most support will become the new artwork and things like that, without us ever having to do anything. So that's pretty cool. We'll be able to see that in action. What else? Let's see. There is right off the bat, I wanted to share a couple of things from a couple of denizens in different layers, and then we'll come back to the coffee layer and talk about going forward, how the rewards are going to work and stuff like that. So over in the all layer, we have a message from Belmar, who says to be happy and have a productive day. Someone out there, life is like a cup of coffee. It's all in how you make it or how you drink it. So I'll pull that up real quick and I'll say, thanks, Belmar. Let's have a great day.
What if you don't do much to your coffee? Like it's how you
then,
make it.
Then you're probably not too, you know what? Not to get too philosophical, but I can drink a lot of different types of coffee. I'm pretty happy with a bunch of different types of coffee. I'm not too picky. So I guess it just depends on how picky you are. You know, if you're anal about your coffee, you're going to spend more time designing that thing so that you enjoy it. But me, I like a lot of things in life in general. So actually, I'll just take it how I get it.
Also, it's entirely your fault that I don't like stuff in coffee. So,
yeah. Well, we have another denizen that just popped in. Oh, you know what? Let me do that thing where I say, here's the button. And then I'll bring you in. I am is going to join us, it looks like, right after this. So
I was starting to wonder when he'd crawl out of the woodwork.
So there's a layer now. If you didn't know, Coffee with Den used to be hosted in the Den layer. Now it's got its own layer, which is cool. So if you go find the Coffee with Den layer, there will be a post called Coffee with Den, episode 41, and you can scroll down to the body of the post, and in there will be a link right here. It says click here. So there's two links. One is to this isn't going to help you but it's going to tell you what time the show starts if you don't live in Florida or the Florida time zone. And then the other one is going to let you jump in. Apparently that works because I Am is here. I imagine that he clicked on this button right here. It says, want to join us for a cup of joe and some half-baked jokes? Click here to join the host during the show. And what that'll allow you to do is this. I Am. How you doing? You joined us. You clicked that button and it worked.
Oh, he's in his closet.
No. I found the back door. It was the NSA. Gave me the password.
Oh, you must have went
My
into
buddies
that
over there
exploit.
Connected me into the back door here. No, you know what? I'm back in trouble. I'm in trouble again. I did
double trouble.
Yeah, I didn't do some honeydews and look at.
Oh, you are back in the doghouse, aren't you?
I'm
You're
back in the doghouse. God, it just sucks to live here.
Either we're being robbed or somebody just walked in. Give me one moment.
Yeah, go check it out.
No worries.
So
I'm hoping somebody walked in. I hope somebody walked in.
Yeah, well, I hope it's the nice thing that happens. Yes, of course. This is live, so whatever happens.
Yes, I did click on the join the live stream. I went over to Odysee first, and then I thought, well, no, I'm gonna go the traditional route.
Yeah, I did check on Odysee, and it looks like it's working. So I didn't screw anything up. So that's awesome. We've even got looks like 5 followers over there. So far out. Thanks, Odysee. We'll be more involved over there. We'll do things and stuff and all that.
Well done, sir. Well done. Good job.
Yeah, and then at some point I want to get Odysee natively integrated with Den.social. So it's like right now you add a video, it's got to be a YouTube video, but there's so much compatibility between like Odysee and YouTube to where like apparently you can just suck in all your YouTube channel into Odysee or ingest it or whatever you want to say. Right. So I imagine it's not that much of a lift to get it integrated. I need to brush up on my skill sets and stuff. A lot of programming things that I do know how to do are far out of date because of the military. I learned in the Navy, and all of their tech is from the 80s and HPUCs and stuff like that.
What language did you have to learn then?
The weirdest language I've learned, which is pretty simple, but it gets messy, and it's like a combination of Fortran and basic. It's called PPCL, and this wasn't in the Navy. This was in when I worked for Siemens for a little while. They had their own proprietary programming language, of course, that only they can use and understand. But that's probably the one I know the most, because in the Navy I was more of a hardware guy. I was cruise missiles and maintaining Unix systems, but it was networking and hardware more than it was engineering. It was maintenance, right? It was technician stuff more than it was even though I had my last 3 years, I had the coolest job title I've had, or that I liked the most. It was field engineer, which means go out there and figure it out, whether or not you had the right tools. And I'm a redneck from Florida, so that's my jam,
That's where we thrive, in that kind of environment. Like, oh, you have one screwdriver and like a wrench that doesn't fully tighten, we can take care of this.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's that. No, the weirdest thing to me, I would say, was just I guess working on a network that was from the 80s, that was, modern, cutting edge stuff. The military doesn't like to update things if there's no really good reason for it, because, once things are certified and it works in a certain way, they're like, all right, any change you introduce, there's potential for, exploits or whatever. So anyway, all the shit was old, but I worked on a system that the network I worked on, because of the way that we do business as a government, I guess, was designed and implemented by like 5 different companies, and they were all given a spec sheet to design to without any reasonable constraints on the software they use and how they implemented it, as long as they were able to communicate with each other. That's a long way of saying it was a network with every operating system on it. We had we had a Solaris machine, we had a Unix and HPUX machine on Spark processors. We had a Windows 2000 machine that was on the same network. We had, if you remember, Mandrake Linux.
Oh my God.
Right? We had Mandrake running on one of them. And let's see, is there anything that I'm forgetting? Probably. Yeah. But at least those 4 separate systems were all had to talk to each other at the same time together to be one system, right? So anyway, that kind of shit I'm pretty good at, because that's what I had to deal with. Stuff like Den is very modern and kind of bleeding edge stuff. And I'm not a great programmer when it comes to modern stuff. So I'm learning that. That's what I'm learning lately, is I want to help out more under the hood as much as I can, and maybe pull in some changes. They can offload some of the simple dev tasks to me if I buckle down and get my learning on, So that's what I want to do. I want to practice by integrating, if I can, figure out how to integrate Odysee directly into Den, so that now that there will be an option to either paste in a YouTube link or an Odysee link.
Yeah, I think
natively in the post without having to just link to it, right?
Be great. That would be great.
Yep. So anyway, click here to join. That's all.
Yeah, that was the click here to join segment.
That was the click here to join thing. We went all over the place. Hey, get cozy. You never know where the conversation's going to go.
Right.
Get a cup of Joe. That's what my captain used to always say to me when I worked in the kitchen for a little while on the ship. He'd call me at like 4 a.m. What's up, bro? Can I get a cup of Joe?
What a nice greeting from the captain, though, as opposed to like
was
something worse. Just like, hey, can I have? And wasn't it the sludge coffee?
Oh yeah, with the captain's cup. It had to be the first cup out.
The first cup out, huh?
Strong. Yeah, you brew the coffee in a regular coffee machine, a drip coffee machine, and then you put the coffee cup under there to get the very first cup, because that's where all the strong, like everything after that is wash.
Right.
So you get the first cup, and then you can put the pot in there, and everybody else can have the bullshit after that.
I like my coffee black, thick, like molasses syrup. No,
I used to
just as black and dark.
Honestly,
we used to even have a cadence about the coffee in the Navy. See if I can remember it. They say that in the Navy, the coffee is mighty fine. It looks like muddy water and tastes like turpentine. And then there's the 1, 2, 1, 2, march on, whatever. So speaking of captains, another denizen captain has left a note over the spirituality layer. I like these in the morning. Get up and be happy. We live in a world where people judge, criticize, and shy away from what they themselves do in secret. happy day. That's kind of a tongue-in-cheek happy
kind
day.
Of ominous.
Everything's terrible. Happy day.
Everything sucks. Good luck.
So let me evaluate that up because I like it. Got a chuckle out of it. I want to go ahead and spend up my energy this morning within the hour.
I have a sneaky
I haven't done that in a while.
We're in the three people view, right?
Yeah, you're right, and I didn't know that. So I was talking about this. Thank you.
See, that's spookier now. It was spooky to start with. Now it's spookier.
If you're new here, I do that a lot. I'll talk about things and forget that I don't have the screen up. So those reminders are helpful. Thank you. In fact, if you want to join the call just to be the person that's like, hey, you're not on screen, you might have an opportunity to do that pretty often.
And who knows, you might end up as like a recurring co-host, like our I am here, who just kind of appeared one day and now he's here every day, which I kind of love, honestly.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy being here. It's I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining really, really hard here.
I hear it very, very lightly. It's not a big deal.
If I can hear it, it's pleasant. Like it's a pleasant noise.
So. Can I go through a couple of updates, I guess?
Yeah.
It's not an update show, but there's a couple
I
of
love
updates.
that one. I love that, the link.
This one here?
The meme. The tribe has spoken.
Yes.
I was chuckling at that when I was looking at that last night.
Yeah. Some of this is going to be for the Odysee folks because I haven't shown off Den to Odysee at all. I should do some other videos and put them over on Odysee as well that dive into what it's all about. But there's a bunch of different layers, which are different communities, and each one of them is a DAO. Even if they don't know it, they have functionality of a DAO if they want to operate that way. One of the things that is every week on Den in the Dragon Chain layer is a show called Super Happy Dragon Lucky. And episode 0x100 is coming up. The 100th in hexadecimal is the 100th. I don't know what it translates to at the top of my head, but
he actually
had a lot of shows.
He's on his 100th episode now. That's pretty
no,
awesome.
Way more than 100. It's 3 years in.
So it's just the 100th episode in hexadecimal code.
Yeah. It's 0x100.
Joe is very confusing sometimes.
Yeah, because hex goes from it's 8, 9, 10. 11, I'm sorry. So it's like my brain just fried. Sorry. So it's like, so let's say it's 90, 8, 99, right? But then there's like 90A, 90B, 90C, over to 90F.
Oh my God.
And then it rolls over to 100. So the last episode was 90F. It's a 16. It's a base 16. So binary is 2. And then we typically do base 10 or decimal. And then hex is base 16, right? So anyway, that doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is you can leave a question on here because he does an AMA every single week. So at least the top 3 as voted in by the community, because you can vote on this stuff. Leave a question about Dragon Chain or Den.social. Be reasonable. Don't be a troll, but leave questions. He'll answer them. He even answers the troll questions sometimes if they get voted up. So go do that. And then also the World Blockchain Roundtable, a different community, different layer. They have a show. Oh, by the way, that's on the one I was just talking about is on Tuesdays. And then there's a Thursday show called World Blockchain Roundtable, which is a bunch of people. I'm typically there. Joe from Dragon Chain is typically there. Greg from Rivet. Litecoin Lisa Mighty Davis is typically there. Satoshi Shan is usually there every week. Who am I forgetting? I'm probably forgetting somebody, and I'm going to feel like an ass. But it's morning time, and I'm having coffee. That is the layer that our new coffee layer is sort of based on. Like, not based on, but we're copying their style. What they do is they reward participation with ownership of the layer or of the show itself. So they'll issue these DAO tokens, these NFT tokens. And all it is like a thing that says, oh, you participated this many times, so you get this much of a vote on what we talk about next. So you get to propose new topics. Every week there's a new topic. The one coming up is, I want to say it's about Web 1. It's a show about Web 1.0.
Oh, that'll be cool.
It's kind of the history of Web 1.1, right?
Yes, yeah.
That'll be neat.
Yeah.
I like it when
because sometimes I just want to go back to Web 1. is what it seems like. Like a lot of the Web3 stuff is kind of like, okay, how can we do something that's more interactive than Web1, but fuck everything that we did on Web2 because that's terrible.
So what is Web1 technically?
What is it technically?
Is it like app? Yeah.
Think of it when you put your phone in and you would hear you use the landline to connect to the internet and you hear all the sound and there's no interaction.
So we're talking like dial-up days.
Internet. Yeah, it's dial-up days, but it's really the internet was just a bunch of forums that you would go to.
Yeah, but
right, and it was pretty static. Like it was Web 2 brought in the whole like okay, you have an account where we can use your data to make your experience better or something like that, or however it's positioned. Web 2 came with that's where the MySpace and the Facebook and all that shit came in. Web 1 was kind of like, oh, I have a website for my lawn service, and then here is the page, and kind of like today, a lot of restaurants have a web page that could very well be a Web 1 web page. It's just information about your business and a contact, maybe an email link to contact them, a phone number, that kind of thing. Okay. So that's kind of a Web 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the
realized I had no idea technically what was before Web 2. Like, I mean, I know what was before it, but I mean,
a lot of it isn't even a technical definition, really. It's kind of an era. And there's fuzzy boundaries between them as well.
Right.
I like that.
Next month, let's see what we voted in. I forget what I even voted for on this one, but it looks like there must be 5 weeks in September based on this. Otherwise, there would just be 4 topics. So blockchain fundamentals. I like getting back to the fundies. Web 1, blockchain fundamentals. I'm seeing a trend here, right? Let's get back to basics and talk about what we really are doing here, right?
The tribe has spoken.
That tribe has spoken, because really what we're doing here is fundamentally important. I mean, think about right now, we are live on 2 separate networks that are actively being fought against and trying to be shut down by the United States regulatory body, right? Odysee,
that's a wild concept.
Odyssee's in the crosshairs, right? Because they're way too good, and the monopolies don't want to compete or innovate, so they try to regulate the competition away. Literally is what's happening. Mm-hmm. And Den is built on technology from a different company, also a U.S. company, a U.S. startup, that has patents on their tech to prove that it's new and innovative. And, the U.S. Patent Office is like, yep, this is brand new, never been done before. Omni Domni, here's your patent. And then other regulatory bodies that have nothing to do with software come in and they're like, we want to regulate you because we're going to call it money, and that means we can do it, and or whatever. So Den's built on Dragon Chain, and Odyssee's built on Library, and both Library and Dragon Chain are currently being sued or accused or whatever. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, but they're trying to be snuffed out is what they're doing. So that the monopolies can have time to catch up, or they can, I don't know what it is, but there's brakes being put on to innovation in the U.S. And so we're currently on 2 networks that right now are being fought against. It's insane to me. I've never been in a position like that before, to where I felt so like fired up. Like, what are you doing? Like I just said, I was in the military. I was in the military for 10 years, thinking that I was, I don't know. Different story. Yep. So blockchain fundamentals. That's my point.
So blockchain fundamentals. That's what we're rolling around to.
And then the following week, we'll be making the world better with blockchain and decentralized systems.
That's the one I voted for. I think.
Awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of potential there. A lot of potential there for sure. That's one of the reasons I like this stuff so much, is because the potential, what it can do, is so outside of the scope of what it's being accused of, that we should really talk about it. And then there's transitioning from number go up to blockchain go up. I'll have to read more about what that's about. But if you're unfamiliar, number go up is kind of a tongue-in-cheek phrase that's a lot of people that claim that they're into crypto, for example, or supporting the tech or in it for the tech or whatever. They don't know anything about it. They just know that there's a chart on the internet where the number goes up and down and up and down. And if they gamble on it, they can sometimes make money or lose money. So there's a lot of things that are, and this is how it's presented in the news, basically, and it's an annoying thing to engineers who are trying to build something real, because every time, CNBC or somebody has a story about how Bitcoin is crashing and crypto is energy hogs, and there's like,
they treat it like a stock, just like any other thing with the Dow if it went down.
Yeah, it's all about people trying to make money on it, and even the way that it's presented in the news, there's people that are taking, an interest in something that they own some coins over here, so they're gonna talk good about that on the news or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's the money thing, right? That's what I'm getting at. Is like,
it's all about
the money thing is it's hindering progress, I guess. So that's probably what that's going to be a lot about. So that'll be the third week of September. Cloud mining applications. I got to do some research on cloud mining applications, because I don't know. I know there's a lot of university students that or people, that faculty members that have access to university computers that don't pay for electricity. University of Florida, where you can probably make a lot of money mining Monero or something, because you don't pay for hardware or the power it consumes, and you have access to the systems, and you do some studies that happen to be mining Bitcoin, or happen to be mining rather Monero or something that's CPU mineable. And people like me who want to do it honest from home have to compete against those asshats. So that's probably what I'll go off about there. I don't know what everybody else wants to talk about. And then the last week of September will be Odysee, or decentralized YouTube alternatives. So we should definitely, if you're on Odysee listening to this, you should tune in the last week of September, at least, if not for the other ones, to, I said tune in, but really you should join Den, so that you can leave a question for that topic for that day. That way you can kind of direct us on what to talk about. So boom, updates, September, World Blockchain, Odysee. Speaking of Odysee, there's a bunch of buttons I've never checked out on there. And maybe our resident expert, Lisa Mighty Davis, can come on here and tell us what it's all about, because she might have an idea, because I think she just joined us.
Oh, nice.
Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up. You ready?
Hey, guys, cool. I'm going to have to step out a little early. I hopefully will be back in time. I got to take the youngest.
I am. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
I am.
Hey, bye. Hi, Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning. It's early in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's early in Oklahoma. It's early in Florida, too. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining.
Good morning. Good to see you.
I was just talking about how we're on Odysee now. Have you used that before?
Oh, yeah. My channel, I've had 3 different channels on YouTube, because I get canceled a lot. And I've had all of them backed up on Odysee. So actually I have 2 channels on Odysee, because I didn't know how to unlink it at first and relink the new channel. I think that was between my first and second channel. But yeah, so it automatically backs up all of my shows. I don't have to do anything. And then they're forever on the blockchain.
I've read about that a little bit. Yeah, kind of you link them and it pulls it in for you or something.
Yeah, you can also do that on Rumble.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I've heard of that one. I've never checked out Rumble before. What's that, David?
I've mostly just explored like the average user experience to it. I didn't know it would do like automatic archiving and stuff like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. And that's where like we really need, I do not know what I'm asking for, but we really need an alternative to the HuTube for streaming, because everybody has to have that launch platform to then be able to back up on Rumble, or then put it on BitChute, or put it on, you know what I mean?
So we need a better first step, essentially. Like a better,
to be live.
I'm actually, so I figured that out with, it took me a little while yesterday to figure that out with Odysee. And most of the, a lot of the reason that I was bitching about regulators in the US earlier was because I had to deal with that yesterday. Because of what library's going through, I had to go through so many hoops and take risks that I wouldn't normally take in order to be able to use the software. So we're live streaming natively right now to library. It's not, now we are on YouTube. So we're on Den.social's YouTube channel. But we're natively going to a new channel called Coffee with Den on library, and it's natively live streaming. To that. So I don't have them linked at all.
I didn't realize they could stream on library.
Yep, you can. And I've got it plugged in here with, actually, I can prove it. Click on the link here. This is our live stream over on library. And
it's Dave. He's going to prove it.
I'm going to prove it. I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, I'm big on proof. I don't know why, but I am. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I'm using StreamYard, and you can do a custom RTMP stream on StreamYard.
Yeah.
And the trick is you've got to have the LBC tokens.
The key?
Library. No, the LBC. You see how it says I've got 4.1 thousand of them?
Yeah.
Right here. So this up here is the thing that libraries being attacked over by the SEC, that sued over, is this token right here, right?
Defund the SEC.
I agree with that. Yeah. So what you have to do, and this is just the way that it works engineering wise, is you have to go and acquire somehow these tokens. I spent $100 and got some, right?
Like buying a Microsoft license.
Exactly, like buying. It's more like buying a Microsoft
or Xbox points.
That's
Xbox points, video game license keys, especially subscription services where you have to keep paying to keep using it.
The license key one, I like that a lot. I haven't thought about that before. Like, it is essentially buying like a set Windows key.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because this is a decentralized network, part of the engineering solution to decentralization is incentivizing people to run networks for you. And how do you do that? You give them a little token that says, hey, thanks for doing this, right? And that's what this token is. So when you want to live stream, what you do is you set up a live stream and you put a little bit of that token in. I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of like you can think of it like a gas fee, but it's a lot more than that. It's like it's a rewards token for somehow other people get it for either hosting your content or what we do with Oxen, David, where we support Session and LokiNet with one of our Oxen service nodes, and then we get paid for providing network services, basically, right? So it's similar in concept to that. So you got to have these tokens anyway, is what I'm saying. And whenever you set up a live stream, it'll give you a link to use in StreamYard with a key, RTMP key and all that. And you put however much tokens you want on there. It starts you out with 0.1 as a suggestion, I think. And that's just something to get some visibility in there. But you're also kind of like...
I think I'm doing that. I just didn't realize what I was doing. I just kept
you probably are
doing what it was prompting me to do, because I'm streaming... to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Odysee.
Oh yeah, you're breaking all kinds of rules. Twitch hates
Rumble. And I was on Pilled, but it messed up. So I really need to call Methods and get that fixed too, and get back on Pilled. Because I don't know why my Pilled account got messed up. But anyway.
I don't even know what a Pilled account is. Is that another social network?
You know who Methods is? He spells his name like you do. Like Methods with a 3.
Throw some numbers in there. Yes.
Yeah, he has his E is a 3.
Good old Leet speak. Yeah, no, I don't know Methods.
He's a really brilliant, good guy. I don't know his background, but I would guess he's former military. He's I met him through Beatles, through Monarch Wallet. And
yeah, I'm familiar with Monarch.
Yeah, so he's like super smart. He's friends with like the X22 guy and Sean, our SGT report, and all those.
You know what's funny is I was thinking about this morning, Lisa. I'll check and see like what's trending on Twitter or something, just to see what kind of conversations are going on. And about a year ago, I would say, I was talking to somebody locally who's a couple of people that were really into cryptocurrencies and blockchain and stuff. And they were talking to me about BitBoy. And I said something about like not knowing who BitBoy was. And they looked at me like I was an insane person. Right. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I don't really watch YouTube shows. I have one, I do one, but I admittedly, I'm more of a reader. I like reading the documentation. I like digging into the engineering docs and stuff like that to figure out what and that's just the way I am.
So
I would rather
BitBoy
read something.
He was really strategic about his PR marketing. He was one of my first interviews on my channel. And I met him just on crypto Twitter kind of stuff.
Right.
And then he was really smart about, he was like, hey, all these kids are going to TikTok. And he's like, nobody's talking about crypto on TikTok. I'm going to go over and do shorts. Because people can't pay attention for that long. Most people can't read books that way, like
right?
You. Yeah. And so he started just doing these shorts of crypto on TikTok, and that's how he really took off with his followers and all that.
Yeah, I know he was is and was insanely popular. Anyway, I saw something today. I forget why that reminded me of what you were saying, but basically, I don't know. Oh, I know what it was. I don't know who a lot of people are who do have most of their contents through video, right?
Oh.
And I've met you through other shows that I'm on, and so I'll watch your show. I'll watch Satoshi Sean. Yeah. Right, because he's on World Blockchain. I'm like, oh, I know Sean. I'm gonna go watch my internet friend Sean. I'll go watch my internet friend Lisa. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I sub to your channels, and it pops up, and and I forget, and I'm not there all the time. But when I see it, and I'm not doing anything, I'm like, oh, right, there's a show, and I'll throw it up. So I'm familiar with your content. I'm familiar with Sean. So you're the like superstars for me, right? Because that's who I care about.
That's funny.
And I don't know. I've looked around on YouTube and stuff at different like crypto channels, right? And maybe this is just a symptom of me having gotten into it way too early to, like not too early, but like early enough to have shitty opinions about what people say.
No, but I get it. Like, I'm not a trader, so I don't watch those trading channels.
Right. And
I don't watch, I'm more interested in, like, obviously, well, because you know me, the political stuff going on in the world. So
that's why I have a lot of respect for you for that reason, because like I've said before, you and I have different ideas politically, but we agree on something that's very important, which is that the truth of something does matter. And if you can prove that, and you can even measure that proof, then that's even more world changing, right? I was talking to one of my sisters recently about truth, and like, hey, what would happen if people couldn't lie anymore? Can you imagine a world where it's difficult to lie? Holy shit.
It's like it's going to sound very, I guess we don't want to go philosophical, but it's like the next step of people. It's being able to hold anybody accountable at any point. It removes an element of human nature that's been there a long time. So
it's expected, and people expect to be lied to, and it's accepted, which doesn't have to be,
which isn't good.
And I
think that's why I'm such a skeptic in all my conspiracy theory things. Like, my biological dad was a compulsive liar, which he left us really early, but left us with this, insecurity and unsure of things and all that. And then I was married to this jerk for 20 years up the road.
That happened. My mom did that too. Married a jerk.
Yeah, and that really messes your mind when someone is, especially he's a narcissist, so he's like telling you an alternative reality and bullies you if you don't comply with it, even though it's wrong, but you have realities and outcomes. Yeah,
and you have no realities. Matter how deeply you try to get it out, it's like, oh, is this real? Is this not real?
Right.
That's the rabbit hole. That's the mindfuck rabbit hole, is what's real. Because I think I talked a little bit, or went off on it a little bit last week on the implications of blockchain and recorded history episode that we did on World Blockchain Roundtable. Because, and I think I used, and in fact, I know I used the example of the Second Amendment. Because, I mean, I'm first of all, I'm the kind of person who can exist under a variety of different types of governments, right? I'm pretty flexible in that I can cope. So I don't necessarily I'm not really on one side or the other of the Second Amendment debate. What's important to me is I've read 3 different versions of the Second Amendment, and it usually comes down to punctuation. Is there a semicolon? Are there commas instead? Are there no commas or semicolons, and it's all just run together, right? And to really get at the truth of things, you're going to have to go down to the wherever, and it's hosted in some museum in DC, and look at the original copy. But even then, you're still trusting someone, and this is where the tinfoil hat rabbit hole stuff comes in. It's like, it really still comes down to trusting someone to tell you that this is the original copy. This actually is the original version that was pinned and signed and stuff like that, right? Because you don't really know.
You don't know if the one you're looking at in a museum is the real one. The amount of artifacts that we have, or like not even artifacts, but just stuff that we have on display in museums, 9 times out of 10, it's fake. Like they don't want to put the real thing out there because, you know.
Oh yeah, even intentionally fake, just because they don't want to endanger it with
you
random
just
people
blew
seeing
my mind with something. With the whole, you said you've read 3 different versions of it with different punctuation. The amount of things that you can change in the way that a sentence is structured with punctuation is interesting, and not even think about it.
Yeah,
somebody could write it and change it.
My homeschool mom director creeped me out and she's the sweetest lady, but she was like trying to make your point exactly. Mm-hmm. And she had made these little bookmarks for the kids, and it said, "Let's eat, kids." And then it said, "Let's eat, kids." And I was like, okay, let's use a different example, because "let's eat, kids" is not okay right now.
And then you get into, the difference just in the last 200 years. You get into the difference in vocabulary and writing style, between now and then. And you have to also interpret it not through punctuation only, but also through, like, here are the terms they used and what they meant then, because words, as we have discovered, don't mean the same thing anymore. So whenever you're trying to glean the intent of something, you really do have to figure out what the context was at the time,
Honestly, I'm dealing with that not really dealing with it, but so I'm reading a book right now called God's Graves and Scholars, and it was written, I think, in 1949 in Germany, and it was translated over. And there are words in it that are definitely used in a way that I wouldn't normally use them. I don't have an example right now, but there's even there's a word that started with a Q, but it's essentially just meant shiny at the end of the day. And I had no clue what on earth this meant or how it was used in the context. And there's been several times where I'm just reading through it. I've got to read a sentence 2 or 3 times to be like, is that what you mean? Okay, that's what you mean. So, even in that short period of time, like that's what, 60, 70-ish years, something like that.
Yeah.
Short period of time like that, less than 100 years, and it's tough to read something that's older.
Well, they say it only takes 2 generations, and you can destroy like a language, because
you completely ruin it.
You can see that in using cursive. I mean, my son, which now we're working on learning cursive now that I'm homeschooling, but at school they don't teach cursive. They don't even teach handwriting, to be honest.
My handwriting is abysmal.
Yeah. Oh, mine's terrible. But everybody keyboards, right? And so my son will get a note from my mom in the mail or something, and he's like, "Can you read this for me?" It might as well be hieroglyphics.
Same thing.
Cannot read. Well,
I am terrible.
What are all of our documents made in?
That's true.
All of our founding documents are
in handwriting. It was just called handwriting. It used to just be how you write.
They're written in a type of cursive that is essentially almost more of like a calligraphy script at the end of the day, because
one of my grandpas used to send me letters when I was in the Navy. When I was out in deployment, he would send me a letter, and it was always written. He had this, the yellow notepad, like the size of a book.
The big legal pad.
Yeah, no, the little one. The little
little
one. Yeah. So he would write on that, and it would always be cursive. It's just how you write back then. So original documentation. Yeah, if you've got to decipher hieroglyphics to be able to see what it means, that's a problem.
if you don't want children to know what's in the Constitution, you just don't teach them how to write.
Now, there's a concept I have never considered.
You have to remember who I am.
I was about to say, I've had very short introductions with you. This is one of the longest conversations we've had, I think. But I didn't even think about that. If you don't teach cursive, then you can't really read the documents that you're basing your whole world on.
And look what they're doing with the rest of history. They're pulling down statues.
Oh, absolutely.
They're trying to erase history.
Yeah, no matter what my political opinions are, history is a thing that should be documented exactly how it happened, and it doesn't need to be pulled down and changed.
Yeah.
Like it's
because we will repeat it if we don't.
Oh yeah, and you mentioned like hieroglyphics and also like difference in changing in language. Egypt, they went through 6 different types of languages in their run, and almost all of them sound well. We don't really know what they sounded like, but almost all of them are written entirely differently from each other. Like we start with literal pictures of grain, and we get down to like curves to represent them. So in that period of time, like if you were alive then and you saw a document from 150 years prior, you would probably have no clue what it said, even if you could read currently.
Wow, that's really fast that it would change. Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes from Battlestar Galactica is, "All of this has happened before and all of this will happen again."
Oh, God. Way to throw me into an existential crisis at 9:30 in the morning, Dave. Thanks.
Speaking of books and existential crises, you were showing off a book. I want to show off one. This is a fella named Kary Mullis who invented the PCR test. The polymerase something, the PCR test, the one
for human DNA.
The DNA, where you could sequence DNA. Basically, it's a way to amplify DNA to where you get enough of it so that you can actually read it and sequence it and all that stuff, right? So that's opened up blew open the floodgates of DNA research. And my wife works in DNA and rare genetic diseases. And stuff like that, where you're literally doing engineering on DNA so that you can infuse it into people and fix their problems so they don't die, shit like that. And this is the person who launched that, and he wrote a book called Dancing Naked in the Mind Field. And man, he's got some stories. He's got some opinions. And he's not shy about saying exactly what it means. I recommend it even if you don't give a shit about PCR tests and biology and stuff, because I expected this to be more of a I don't even know what I expected, but it wasn't this.
Well, he came out with a statement about the PCR test and how it was being misused. So,
well, he had some statements about that. Unfortunately, he died right before the 2019 COVID-19 thing happened. So we don't have any of his opinions directly on that, but we do have a lot of statements about what you can and what it's logical to use this for and what it's not. And he did have some things to say about I think the most relevant thing he's got to say that relates to PCR tests as they're being used today for COVID testing, or for not COVID, but the virus that causes the disease, is he has a whole story about the O.J. Simpson trial. Really? Because they called him in as an expert.
The second trial where he actually was convicted?
No. The original criminal trial. Yeah. And they brought him in because before this person, there was no DNA evidence. There was no crime scene DNA evidence, right? So he talks a lot of shit about politicians and other scientists and the state of the world and stuff like that. And I just wanted to really plug this book.
What's
even
it
though
called?
He's not around
Dancing
anymore.
With my naked.
It's called Dancing Naked in the Mind Field.
Yeah,
I put it up on my camera there. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Naked in the Mind Field. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Where did my pen go?
And who's the author again?
And so this is here. Let me just boop, boop, boop. Let me do a little solo plug. I wish I was, more versed with my buttons here. There we go. All right. So here's the book. It's by Kary Mullis, which happens to be the last name of my asshole stepdad that I was talking about earlier.
I was thinking Hannah.
Yeah. And it's called Dancing Naked in the Mind Field. There is not yet an English version that is on Audible if you're an audiobooks person. But I think there's a Spanish one or something like that. But this book here is on Amazon, or it's in your local bookstore.
And it is in English.
And it is in English.
It would not surprise me.
Yeah. No, I only speak English. Maybe that's surprising.
Okay. Well, you speak
Tina's way
English.
cooler than us, though. Side note, like his wife, the DNA sequencer lady, she has way cooler stuff than we do.
She's the cool one.
You speak like coding, and she speaks several languages in like.
I'm a technician,
computer, right?
He definitely speaks nerd well. I've known Dave a long time at this point, and he can babble on some nerd stuff, no problem.
Yeah, I'm a technician and logic person, I guess. I'm a troubleshooter, where like if things don't make sense mechanically, I have a hard time wrapping I'll dig into it. It'll bug me for weeks until I understand exactly the mechanics of how something works. So that's why I probably sound like I'm speaking a different language sometimes because I think that way, but it's not. Logical. Yeah, I speak English and I speak terrible German for about 2 weeks at a time whenever I go visit my wife's family.
But you make an effort, and they probably think that's so sweet.
They think it's cute.
Yeah, I feel like they probably think something about it.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, I know. My husband tries to speak Spanish, but he just uses a Mexican accent with English.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Mexico. And I'm like, please stop doing that. They're going to spit in our food. Please stop doing that. He's like, no, they like it. They like that.
Sure.
But I'm trying. And I'm like, no, they don't like it. And then so he started asking some of them. And I'm like, well, those are all the ones that you give big tips to at the resort. Like that's
so
not
of course
the
they like
thing.
you. Yeah, you tipped them out well.
Yeah.
I got to watch myself. I have a tendency to do that. I'm sort of a copycat when it comes to the way people talk around me. And a lot of times it will be the case where I'm talking to somebody where English is their second language. And let's say I go to Germany, and I'm just immersed in a household. I'm living there for 2 weeks with people that barely speak English. I'll notice that I start doing that shit. I'll start talking to them with a German accent and in English because I'm trying to communicate with them, and I'm hearing how the cadence and like that kind of thing. And I'm just like, what are you doing, Dave? Like, that's not helping them understand you.
So there's probably some psychology buried behind that with
I'm sure
trying to replicate it. Now I'm curious about that. I'm glad that you said that you change your voice to make, the accents at people. I have a terrible time of I'll be around groups of people and I will start doing the same thing where I'll start just changing the accent because I'll do the stupid thing where I'll make like a fake Italian accent all of a sudden on the fly, and then people around me will start doing it too. If I start doing it long enough, Dave will start doing it. It's just
like a yawn. It's contagious.
You should. There's a lot of weird. Do that one day on a video, but don't tell everybody. Yeah.
Don't tell anybody. Oh God.
Yeah, and just see if it spreads to the end of the video.
I sound more like a New York Jew than anything else at this point. Like I feel like I'm gonna like a car salesman.
You know what's funny is I was one of the I don't know what you call it, groomsmen, not best man in a wedding, but like one of the other people.
Yeah,
the others that are up there. And it was a New York wedding with a Jewish family, and I'm from Florida. I'm from the woods. And I've heard people talk about there being a particular like mannerisms and I guess stereotypes or something. And, but I didn't understand like, oh no, that's a real thing. The New York Jewish community.
Yep.
Like you can, like after I stayed with them for a few days during the wedding and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's like a whole thing. It's like a whole community, and you have mannerisms, and you say things a certain way, and sometimes it's really funny.
Well, it's like Stacy, right? Yeah, we know Stacy. Yeah, she is from New York, and she is like ethnically Jewish, so her whole family was that exact same way. So just like Stacy's mannerisms and everything, I think that's what I think that's right, who I'm copying when I do that.
I'll be like, "Are you fucking with me?" Because this is
like messing around. Is this real?
I don't know.
I remember her and her mom interacting. It was wild watching the two of them talk because they just go into this long, drawn out, like "Ma," like that kind of stuff from one side of the house to the other. It was great. I missed that.
My friend Johnny, he's on my Thursday show, and he's from Jersey, and we do a meetup at least once a year, sometimes twice a year in Jersey. My buddy Westwood and I travel around, and we do meetups and teach people about crypto and talk about freedom and all this. And we try to go to Jersey at least once a year, but sometimes twice a year. But anyway, and Johnny is from Jersey, Johnny Litecoin. And when Johnny gets mad, Johnny talks like this. And he's like, has that thick accent. Yeah. And he came to Oklahoma for our event for Team Mighty. And he's just like the most amazing guy. He came just to be really supportive of my mom and, my dad. And so he was the MC for us. And so I had like my friends here from Oklahoma that came to the event too. And they were like, wow, where'd you get that guy? And I was like, oh, that's my friend from Jersey.
For some reason, that reminds me, I think his name was Steven, but it was in when I was first going through electronics school in the Navy. Sorry, my voice is messed up here. There was this guy from Texas who was like, I think he got a kick out of kind of playing up the Texas attitude about everything. Everything's bigger in Texas. And I just remember for some reason when you were talking about Jersey, Johnny, when I get pissed off, Steven would do that shit. And I remember one time he was beating on a vending machine that wouldn't dispense the fucking thing he bought. And he said, I'm from Texas and I'm pissed off. As if like being Texas was an extra amplification of that.
Yeah.
I know a few people from Texas, and that's a pretty common thing. Just like, I am from Texas and I am mad. My sister-in-law was married to somebody in New Jersey and has spent probably the past like 10 or 11-ish years over there. And she is American and Turkish. So like that's her ethnicity.
Oh, uh-huh.
And on top of all of that, she's got when she gets mad, she gets that like draw, like that thick New Jersey accent. Mm-hmm. So she's the most confusing person I've ever seen. She also thinks the earth is flat. So there's that.
Well,
I love her.
You never know.
For all I know,
there's that map in Air Force One and all.
Oh God.
Well, I think we can eventually prove things that were less provable before. True. That's my thing. Is I don't care if it's flat or not. Let's just prove it.
That'd be kind of cool. Like if I'm wrong and the Earth is flat, then whatever. Like I'll take.
I have no idea. I have a friend who's really hardcore about that. And then you hear little things like last night we were watching Unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
William Shatner was terrible, by the way.
My God, I know it's so bad.
I've watched some of those episodes are good, and some of them are really hokey.
Yes, yeah. The very last one, there were like so many comms in it, but I was also like 3 Tito's in, so I don't know. But they were like hinting around about flat Earth. There was I think that's the one when they were talking about the Jersey Devil and chupacabras and
Jersey Devil is one of my favorite episodes of X-Files.
Oh God.
Cool one. Hey, speaking of conspiracy theories, T Swift or Die is here with us. And I'm gonna bring him up. He wasn't here last week, and then he wasn't here the 2 weeks before that because none of us were.
No, he was.
But he's here today.
He's been here. He was actually hosting his own show the whole time we were gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
All right, so John, I'm going to bring you up if you're ready or not.
Yeah. I'm going to bail.
There you are.
Hey,
how's it going?
Hi, John.
Welcome back.
Hey,
Great.
Johnny. Speaking of John.
Yeah.
I like how you're like, oh, he's been here. No, that was different people. That was Captain Conspiracy was one of them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot
The
about
Postman.
The Postman.
Mr. Mail or something like that.
I still think Mr. Give Me All the Change in Your Pockets was the best guy.
Oh,
yeah. He earned an avatar and a work of art and all that stuff too. So John is hey John, we're on Odysee. We're on a different network. Well, an additional network. We're still on YouTube and on Den, of course. But we're on Odysee now. So people that don't know John, we've been doing this for like 40 episodes, and he's been in here on a bunch of them, probably like 30 of them. And he is a comedian and a stand-up and an improv.
I was about to say you're going to piss John off.
Yeah, I'm going to call him the wrong thing. And I love the guy, but a lot of his, I'll say that a lot of his humor, you got to think about it, and a lot of people don't like.
Sometimes it's early.
So if you get pissed off at something John says, it's probably by design. So there's my introduction for you, John.
That was about the best way you could have introduced John. I think
that was like the weirdest synopsis of my style of comedy. It's like, look,
as it relates to this show,
he might piss you off. Here's my friend.
That's not what you're going to get. When
we
you
like him though.
Yeah, if you go to an improv show that John puts on, it's a full dynamic range of a good time.
Oh my God, it's a blast!
I just wanted to boil it down to that, because a few people have gotten pissed off at you, if you remember.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I loved it.
And I didn't know how to respond to it, and I don't think I did a very good job. But it was just
you did an excellent response.
Give me a break.
I I just always love like you're not forced to watch this show. Like nobody's like, I hate that John character. Better tune in next week to see what else.
See how he's doing.
This never happened.
Yeah.
That's saying if you say you don't like me, but you're still watching, you're a fan or something like that.
Yeah, some of the
like
most
that.
dedicated fans are the trolls. They're there every week.
He's like, I'm here. I'm giving you a view. You're going to get like an extra 1/10 of a penny from the YouTube machine, provided you're talking about whatever they want you to talk about.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's
on
like we're
YouTube,
harming them by hanging out with our friends and talking and having a cup of coffee, you know?
it doesn't matter if they give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's still a click.
It's interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, thumb me down, baby. Thumb me down.
Yeah.
It's like, give me that. I like it. Here, it's good.
It's the same way on Den also.
Yeah, Den is good.
That is a fantastic segue into. So last week we forgot to read any of the replies, or I did anyway.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oops. And so let's make up for that because that's a great segue into the top voted reply to this episode. Let me bring that up,
Dave,
which is about downvote.
I want to say how good you are at segues. You know, it's just like
speaking
of conspiracy theories. Here's just a person who's been here every week.
Here's a normal person.
Here's somebody who has nothing to do with conspiracy theories.
I played a character that loved conspiracy theories, but then I made the mistake of going on a show that likes to talk about conspiracy theories, so I just fit in.
Nice. We do have a new conspiracy theories layer this month.
Oh, that's right. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, so that's cool. We can talk about. I'm going to make some up and put them in there. You know what I mean? I'm going to make some.
No,
up,
don't do that.
And I'm going to make it plausible.
Like made up things.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, no, they usually have at least some basis where something's been pulled from.
Hold on. Conspiracy
I'll go
theories
toe
aren't
to
made
toe
up.
with you right now. Conspiracy theory versus CNN or whatever you're back.
No, I'm good. I have a sneaky feeling I'm not prepared for that war.
Conspiracy theories aren't made up.
They are gleaned. They are inferred. Is that better?
Inferred?
Yeah, you
leave that one
pattern
alone.
recognition, right? Pattern
They're
recognition,
an
and you put it together.
alternative
And
narrative than what the mainstream media is shoving down your.
I'll take that. That's a good.
Okay.
That's a good way to describe them.
I'm down with that. Yeah,
But like, I don't know. Alternative narrative is interesting.
but there are actual. It's a theory. It's a theory about a conspiracy that is difficult to prove.
Everything's a theory till it's proven.
And some things end up being true. That's why I think that it's really cool to have the conspiracy theory layer, because everything on Den is provable to an extent, at least what was said, when it was said, who said it, that kind of thing, right? And so that's going to help with things like, 9/11 conspiracy theories, for example, suffer from weaknesses in technology. What I mean by that is, you'll see some like found footage pop up years later after an event, and somebody will be like, look, we found this footage from the day it happened, and it shows it wasn't an airplane at all. It was a missile and stuff like that, which cool, fine. Let's go find evidence of things being weird. But how do you prove that that isn't a Photoshop or a CGI or a manipulation or a deep fake or something like that?
Or a different
So
day.
we can start using this whole blockchain thing to timestamp things as they happen. I think, free idea, maybe I shouldn't give it out because I think it's a really good product for Eternal Report. But if you had an app on your phone that was a camera app, and maybe it's called Dragon Camera or something, and when you take a photo, it hashes that photo and posts it to the Bitcoin blockchain for proof. And then if in the future, later on, if you wanted to prove that an image wasn't manipulated, you could reasonably prove that this is the state of the data as it was captured at the time in real time, even if you didn't like reveal it for 10 years into the future, right?
That is
stuff like that can
stuff.
change some shit.
That's some big brain thoughts there, man. That would be cool. We could call it like Dragon Sight or something.
Yeah, Dave Cam.
Yes.
So, all right, we were supposed to talk about downvoting though.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were segueing.
So I want to go through the replies. And the top one was from how do I even say that? Dusko Bagged is how I'm going to say it, right? So Dusko Bagged is one of our newer denizens, it looks like. Welcome to Den. And the question is, are you thinking of changing require a comment to downvote a post? Since I am a new denizen, it would mean that I know what was wrong with my post so I can make the next post even better. I can only know that if an explanation was left with a downvote. I have downvotes on the original posts and I don't know what's wrong with them. I left a little bit of a reply down here. I think it's a good question and it's a good idea too. You could require an explanation for up and down evaluations,
or not even like require.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like maybe you could require that. You could do anything. It's just software.
Right.
But maybe that's more of a cultural thing that we should get people to start doing that anyway, just in the replies. But I think that the idea of this is good. Because a lot of people will just see downvotes and they'll be like, what did I do? I'm not a troll. I'm not spamming. I'm not, whatever. So what do y'all think about that? I
think you'll have less people downvoting because people are lazy. They like to just click up or click down.
Which could be good. I don't know. A lot of the systems on Den are based on incentives and friction. Right? You incentivize the behavior you want to see and you put friction where you don't want it. So maybe if people are, on one hand, we do want people to use up their energy every day. But on the other hand, we don't want people to just drive by spam energy votes if they're not actually evaluating. And we want them, but then on the other hand, again, on the third hand, we want people to think of these as evaluations and not popularity contests or votes, or I don't like you, or I don't like what you said. Right? Is it relevant? Does it fit the conversation? More objective stuff. So that could be a tool we use. And maybe I'm wrong about it not needing to be something hard coded in, but that could also be tied to reputation. Maybe if you do have a poor reputation, you have to explain yourself before you vote, whether, or maybe if you have a higher rep, you don't. So there's a bunch of ways to attack that.
Interesting. Yeah. Cause you can already leave a reply. So if they really felt strongly about what they wanted to say negatively about the post, they could leave a reply and say, hey, this post doesn't belong in this layer, or for whatever reason that they're downvoting, so it's not like there's not an option to leave why they're downvoting.
So I think you kind of run into this issue with Den where it's still new. And I think that's so you want no barrier to entry for people to be able to use your platform. Hence why you have these beautiful words on the side that say reply, home, layers.
Thank you for that, John.
Well, my point is that you don't want to add these more hurdles people have to jump through that they're not used to, that don't translate from other platforms in order to use your platform.
Right. So like having to decipher what the icons mean versus having the word next to them so you just know what they mean.
Yeah. So I think adding barriers like that is just going to drive engagement down. I think when you're a giant platform and people have a necessity to use you, and this isn't just a space that they can go find somewhere else, then sure, do what you want. But at this point, Dusko
Bagged. That's what I'm going to say. Bagged, maybe you pronounce that differently.
Be good, maybe.
I wanted it to be an acronym for something, but I couldn't think of one fast enough. Dusko Bagged. It's just not going to happen. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I think if you wanted to see something like that, try creating that. But what's cool about what we do, though, is that you can go to a layer, propose legislation, essentially, propose a governance, and maybe it'll catch. You can propose that idea and see if it gets excited, if people get excited about it, because that's the cool thing about the four of our opinions aren't what matters in the world. You just got to go and yell in the Den layer over enough, and then hopefully somebody with enough coins thinks you're smart, and then
so that's what
it, and then they
John
make an
did.
ad hoc thing and do what I did.
Yeah, that's what John did, and it worked. And it worked because there was a discussion over a particular feature. The feature that he's talking about was just the words on the side, right? Originally, it was like this, and then a change was made to get rid of the words to make it more like it is on mobile. And then the decision was unmade after John made us think about it. And a lot of people, and it wasn't just John, John opened the conversation, opened the discussion, but then a lot of people chimed in to be like, yeah, kind of, we want them back anyway. So we brought them back for the desktop.
And I think the big thing that helped me is like, I didn't let go of it. We're like, you know, like every show that I was on, I'm like, hey, by the way, we should do this thing. So like, if you really like feel strongly about something and think it's going to make it better, like don't let go of it. Don't worry, I'm coming for the right click next. So we're working for that. Coming for that next.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
That's a good point, though. Maybe now is not the time for friction.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to make it more difficult for people to engage, and also to do something that's already like, I don't think people go by for fun downvoting things. I just
some people do. Some people
but I
do.
don't think it's
I expect there's going to be there's going to be like a noise floor. And upvotes too. There's going to be unwarranted upvotes where people are just like, "Oh, that's my friend, and that's terrible, but that's my friend, so I'm going to upvote it." Right. So there's going to be a noise ceiling and a noise floor, and in between that is where your range of shit that matters is, you know. And the reason that the reason that this is actually a pretty big deal to talk about is because those evaluations and those votes do determine what your payouts are at the end of the day, because there are payouts every single day on content, and it's based on how people vote on your content. So
it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I haven't looked at my payouts in months. I should probably go in there and check them out. And on that note, there's a couple of discussions going on about how sometimes if you look at your payouts, you'll see, here, I'll just look at them real quick. Hopefully I don't have anything that's not supposed to be showed in there. Let me see. If you go to your page, if you go to your personal page here, hey, Odysee people, if you click on your personal page on Den, you can go to this thing called payouts. And that's where you can see how much you've been getting paid out for all your stuff. So this is the metrics page. It's in beta. There are bugs, and sometimes it'll show things like negative matter, like you get paid negative money. And that never actually happens. It's just displayed that way because of a bug, right? So you can look and see day to day what your payouts have been. Cool. I've been getting some matter every day, and a couple of them I've been getting a lot. Cool. Usually these bigger days are when we do a coffee show. So thanks everyone for bumping the content. But if I just look at yesterday, right, you can go through and you can see if you're a layer owner, which I've been here for a couple of years now, I guess. So I've been collecting these lot tokens, these layer ownership tokens. And so you get basically some dust every day from owning the layers. You get a percentage of stuff. But if you see, some of them have these negative numbers here. I didn't actually get matter taken from me. It's just the way it's showing up in the software. But then you can dial into the actual, let's see. Here is a post about, I guess this is the initial, because I posted this yesterday. One voter, that's not a good example. Let me go to a different day to find a better example. Here's one. Stop it, right click.
Oh, I had a question, and sure. I think Amanda answered me, but now I can't remember what the answer was. When we share the shows on Den, does it count count or benefit on Den if you share it from another platform? Like if I share it from YouTube, the link from YouTube, does that still? That do I need to only share
some cases? So that does benefit World Blockchain Roundtable, because they actually count up views from YouTube, from LinkedIn, from Twitter, and from Den, and combine them all together, right? Okay. And so that gives you your lot payout. For the rest of it, no, it doesn't typically.
So it's better to share directly from Den.
Right. Yeah, for a couple of reasons, actually, because one, if there's any quote unquote external boosts applied to it, you'll get a payout from, there's like basically a bag of incentives saying, hey, share this outside of Den, but use your share button on Den, and you'll get credited for sharing that outside of Den. But we can't track that if it's just the direct YouTube video.
I don't see us on Coffee with Den right now. Maybe I need to update it.
Let's see here. I was digging into this because I thought I was going to find an example that I liked, but I don't like any of them. The point is, there's going to be some noise on the. You expect downvotes, and don't get upset about it. And this whole page is changing and being, improved as well. All right. So let's see. Next question was Hyperion frequency. Who? Oh wait, is that a question from? Let me see here.
Yeah, he replied to yours.
That was a reply to one. Let me find one of the top level. We should have these collapsible too, I guess. Here's one. Jacob Wayne.
Oh, did you send him that box yet?
No, I'm waiting. You said you wanted to send your hard drive.
Yeah, I'm going to say, do you want to just? We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. So Jacob Wayne, I took his camera with me to Iceland, and he's going to cut a cool video from some of the footage. We just got to send it all back to him. So shout out to Nomadic Gear. If you're going traveling, there's a company that you can contact on Den. Go through Jacob Wayne or go through Nomadic Gear, and they can set you up with some gear, which itself is nomadic. It travels around, and then you can send it back with the cards, and he'll cut a little vacation video for you and throw that up. So a little plug there. So sky's the limit on CWD. That's what we're calling Coffee with Den. That's the tag, CWD.
I like it.
New implementations and growth. And he's in the middle of the move. I'm not mailing that equipment back to him yet. So let's see. Writing down some ideas. Awesome. For far in the future features. Say that 5 times fast. So I can pitch them all after these other important current features have been realized. For example, imagine if you could make a playlist of your posts that show up on your profile. Like if I did a My Year in Crypto 22 post in the cryptocurrency layer, and then My Year in Texas 22 in the Texas layer, you could see them in order in a playlist called My Year in 22. That's a pretty good idea. Playlist probably isn't the right word, but hopefully that idea makes sense. Maybe someday in the future, I'll make a solid post of these ideas and we can all love or hate it. That's a great idea. And there's a concept that is not in the priorities list right now for personal lot, right? Right now, you can own part of a layer, part of a community by being a lot holder there. But there's also a back burner concept of personal lot. And that's pretty similar to like basically your page, your wall, your website, that kind of thing. But you could actually have a layer that was tied to you personally, like a personal layer, and people could own part of your content, right? And so on that, you could put basically how Odysee and YouTube and stuff has different playlists. You could organize your content that way into different categories and stuff like that. I imagine tagging, like it needs more features, of course, but tagging could be used there where you could have your personal tags. Right now, the tags are different per layer. So I imagine that would be the same thing. It would carry over to personal layers where you have your own tags. And ideally, the tags should do something like organize, show only the rock music or show only the, modern history versus ancient history or something like that. So very good idea. Anybody want to talk on that? What would you put on your personal page? What would you, besides playlists? How do you organize stuff? Lisa, you have a lot of social channels. How do you organize your different types of content? Right?
So I organize mine by show, and then I also have like what's crypto, and then I have like favorites, or I'll have what's Team Mighty or charity events, and then I have certain people that people like to watch. So like if Cliff High comes on my show, I have like just a playlist for him because some people just want to watch any show he's been on, or Big Swear or somebody like that. So I'll have that a playlist for that show.
So we get a playlist here that's like only the episodes that John show up in. That's all that people are interested in.
Yeah. So if everybody wanted to see all the John shows, things like
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, because I think we should make the tags actually, and they will over time. They'll sort. You can sort by category or by tag or that kind of thing. Cool. So let's see. Hyper Freak. That's my nickname for Hyperion frequency. I hope he likes it. If not, sorry, I guess.
It's the same thing. I don't see a difference. Hyperion frequency, Hyper Freak, it's the same thing. You're good.
Awesome to see on Odysee. I downloaded it as recommended by a friend, but the mechanics are not easy to navigate on the phone. I didn't try that on the phone, actually, so I'll have to check that out. I've been having a good time with it. I was wondering why we had like a couple of followers already, so thanks for following over there. on Odysee. I don't know what I'm doing there yet, so figuring that out. Some ideas of what kind of collaboration we could do with Den. We're creating our own version of something like that for Den, or both, but with different time frames. Realistically, the more information Den can store and provide to the public, the greater our overall value. YouTube plugin is really nice for an early addition to our site, but it definitely leaves everyone wanting greater utility. For example, being able to directly add links to mature content in our adult layers and being able to vote on them there. I digress. At the very least, it's awesome seeing everything being brought together and used to build your own platform. I know it's not easy, but by a long shot, but you're seriously making it happen. That's awesome. Thanks for the kudos. And yeah, we need native integration of Odysee, and we also need native uploading of video content on Den. We got a couple plans for that, but to where you can just natively upload a video, just like on Odysee, just like on YouTube, stuff like that.
That would be great.
I like the idea of, one of the things marketing-wise, for example, with Odysee, right? If we integrate Odysee on Den, then it's entirely reasonable to say, hey, we should probably mention that in marketing to the Odysee community to say, hey, this blockchain-based platform has natively integrated your blockchain-based platform. And so maybe we can bring some of Den to Odysee and some of Odysee to Den, right? To where both of us benefit from additional subscribership or additional denizens here. And I don't know what Odysseans are called, but Odysseans.
I gotta bail. My kiddo's gonna be here any minute.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
School thing, but I wanted to say good morning to you guys and good to see you.
Yeah, I appreciate you dropping in. Always enjoy conversations with you. I'll see you Thursday. You're going to be on the World Blockchain on Thursday.
Yep, I'll see you Thursday.
So I'll see you on then.
What's I have to ask, what's the picture behind you?
That is a Lucha Paletti that somebody bought me for Christmas 2 years ago. Transmutation Moneta Divina.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Nice.
I love Lucha Paletti. Check him out on Twitter, but he's amazing Bitcoin crypto artist, does NFTs and all kinds of amazing stuff. So
Lucha Paletti, shout out. I'll check it out. I'm not familiar, so I'll check it out.
Oh gosh, yeah, he has amazing work. All right, bye guys.
Thank you. And then there were two.
Oh yeah.
I'd like the idea of just because I want Den to grow too. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a lot of tech out there that we need that exists already. So, even there's one called Flux where you could host a server on that and you don't need to be on, Google or Amazon's cloud infrastructure. It's like decentralized cloud. And it's also a blockchain community and stuff like that. So if we could plug in natively, support these other networks that already have humans there, it's likely that we'll gain some denizens from that. Oh, what's up, pup?
Minnie has decided that she needs attention. Yeah, that sounds cool. Any way that you can plug into other people's groups is a great way to grow your own. Minnie agrees. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Just be careful who you're plugging into. Be like, who's got this great thing going on, like 4chan, and then let's go plug into the 4chan QAnon section and see what happens. All right, let's
4chan needs a filter. It needs and not for them, right? 4chan, it has its own thing going on. They got their own janitors and they got their own, freedom of speech thing going on. And that's fantastic. You can actually learn a lot from those boards. And there's a lot of, disgusting commentary on there. And there's a lot of really good, inspiring commentary on there. There's just different boards for different things. And, it's been around for a long time. It has a legacy. And honestly, you can find information there that's legitimate a lot, probably every day. That's where a lot of the early info we get, even for video games, right? Big gaming community there where you'll find out what's going to happen in the next Fallout or the next big Bethesda title or something because somebody will leak it on 4chan or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really good stuff there, but there's not a good way to, in my opinion, there's not a good way to manage it, right? What they have is people that are paid to go in and remove content and sort of decide arbitrarily what's good and what's bad, and you're at the whims of a human deciding their opinion what's good and bad, that kind of thing. I do think that we probably shouldn't have a direct integration with something like 4chan, because we're not trying to be that, right? I fully support that. I just think that we can be more inclusive. Although I would say that 4chaners would probably argue that they're being very inclusive.
They're too inclusive.
Maybe.
Yeah. Look, you got to get rid of some people. That's just 10% of people suck.
Right. Get rid of 10%. Well, you know what's funny? Not funny, haha, but funny, ironic, is that like all sides of the conversation say that about other people, right? And some are more extreme than others, and some people mean different things by get rid of. You got to be careful about what you're saying,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So here's what my proposal is.
I'll say 4chan's very human, and that's not always a good thing.
This is what I think we should do.
Okay, hold up. I was gone for a very brief period of time, and I came back and I hear 4chan immediately.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
We were talking about it.
I haven't been on 4chan since high school, so that's like 15 years. So don't worry. But yeah, here, this is my proposal. Every 10th person that tries to make an account, you block their IP address. Okay? We're going to say, man, Litecoin Lisa, she left right when it was getting good. We can block.
And then you can say, we're
every
like
10th person. We block every 10th person that their IP address. DDoS them. Okay. Can't even use the internet anymore. We're gonna get rid of them.
Oh, this is gonna be active. You're not gonna block them on the access side. Like, they can access it if they can get to it. We're just gonna make it to where we attack that IP address from now on.
That IP address is donezo. Okay.
Offensive.
Get it out of here. All right. 1 out of every 10. All right. And like that's it. Funny. No humans involved. We don't need human bias in it whatsoever. We're just arbitrary. Well, it's a lottery on who gets in. Okay. And your odds of getting them pretty good unless you're number 10.
Unless you're number 10. You got a 90% chance of being fine.
Yeah. And then like with that power comes great responsibility. And then we make a 10% group and an email. Okay. No. They get a letter sent to their house to the address their IP is coming from. Because you can do that. Okay. I've seen the videos. You do that. You send them a letter inviting them to a secret society.
Oh, okay? No.
Yeah. And then they make the rules for Internet 4.0.
Censored. And so here's your secret censor society.
Yeah. No. And then
welcome to the elite.
They develop the internet like Web 4.0. That's it. Because you always got to be a point of
the people that were arbitrarily blocked.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Right.
So hey, so sorry. It's like, have you seen Foundation?
No.
You haven't seen the TV show Foundation? Have you read the books by Isaac Asimov?
I know of Isaac Asimov.
Okay.
I don't know of Foundation.
We're done here. Go on Apple TV, and you have to watch the Foundation series. It's amazing. It's amazing, like future scientific ideas. But I wasn't prepared to tell you the whole synopsis of it. That's his name. You found it.
I found his name.
That's his name. Located.
That contributed. All right. So, all right. So basically, it's about these people that, like, this guy predicts that the galaxy government is going to fall apart. Right?
Okay.
And he's like, I'm going to take this group of people and we're going to send them to this remote planet. So that way, after the world has fallen apart over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, the children of these people get to restart society.
Got you. So it's like SpaceX.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Wait, you said SpaceX.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that. But sure.
Yeah, you go colonize Mars so that all of our eggs are not all in one basket, so that when Earth goes to shit, we still have some people that can like reproduce and create a society again over in Mars. That's the
idea.
This
is like a secret one.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. So like you don't know, but we know what Elon's doing, right?
He's pretty open about it.
Yeah.
As far as we know.
That's true. Conspiracy theories. All right. Anyway, right. So like that's it. Those 10 people, those like 1 out of every 10 people that didn't get in, those decide the future. Right. So they don't get it now. Like they're gonna be famous later. So it's cool. I don't see any problem with this.
I was sorry, I was distracted. I just noticed that the stream on Odysee, our new network over there, I had to reset the stream, but they got a button for that.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, I saw something had actually popped up on Odysee.
I feel like he did that on purpose so that way people wouldn't hear my rant.
Yeah.
Oh, like he knocked you out on purpose.
Go in the conspiracy theories layer, about how I'm conspiring to shut down your ideas.
I'm already getting DDoSed.
Actually, side note, since you're on Odysee right there, go ahead and just like open up a standard Odysee page, like not our coffee page.
Okay.
Okay, do that. Okay, now go and scoot on down to rabbit holes.
Oh yeah, you want to go there right now?
Yeah, you'll like it. Go there.
Okay.
And look around a little bit. Hunt about on there.
Who's coffee with Marks?
Like, are there Marxist coffee drinkers on
here? No, it's just coffee with
Mark Z.
No, I was telling you you'd like it here because when I go to the rabbit holes page, we're on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Oxen Labs is up there.
Oh, that's cool.
They got updates.
The CIA.
Are we on the rabbit hole? Well, we are a new. We are a new thing. I paid 69 tokens to advertise it.
Maybe it's not showing up to you because you're logged into an account and streaming it, but I'm not even logged into an account.
They don't want. That's what it is. They don't want me to know.
Actually, here's an easier way to do that.
You know what I did see though is where is it? There's a bunch of. I think I can get money for something. Where is it? Rewards. Yeah. So apparently if you start doing stuff, and I thought this was cool because I was thinking about with Den, how do we incentivize the behavior you want to see? Of course. Well, they have little like claims here. First upload, first thing. So what happens when I claim that? Oh, I've already claimed it. Max rewards in the past. I guess I've been claiming too much. I've been earning it up.
So it's like a little tier system here. I haven't seen any of that stuff really.
Let's learn about Odysee.
Yeah,
when you do stuff, you earn library tokens. That's cool. So 0.1 for I gave him my email, 0.1 for welcome, and then a half a 0.1 for this stream. Cool.
It's not bad at all.
Claim between 0.25 and 25. I still claim too many. All right. That's still true.
My internet got
away. Is this working again? I don't think so. Let's refresh it. It could be a timeout. We do go long sometimes, so it could be a timeout.
It also could be it's running on some different types of stuff.
It exists. Cool. All right. Back to Coffee with Den. All right. So we went through, unlike last week, we went through all the replies. I'm going to do this. What do you guys think about this?
We should probably roll back and look at our other.
I'm going to start rewarding, instead of with matter, I'm going to start rewarding with lot, with ownership tokens, which is what all these people here have. I went through and accounted for everyone who had interacted with the show in the past. There was 84 people.
That's awesome.
And so what we can do is we can start rewarding people with these lot tokens because I can mint them for free instead of using my own matter. So to me, economically, that's fantastic.
From an economic standpoint, it makes sense, but also that just gives more people voting power.
It gives people voting power, and it also, everyone in this list now gets, I think, 5% of all matter generated by the show gets distributed out to the lot holders, to the owners, which theoretically should incentivize people to spread the show and make it grow and that kind of thing.
I like that somebody in the list, there's name is, I just love that there's somebody named Shrek 2 on DVD.
Shrek 2 on DVD.
Yeah. On DVD specifically.
Exactly.
I should make Shrek 2 on VHS.
Competitor citizen. I wonder, it was in our second hour when we made the governance decisions, right? So I wonder what's pending and what's passed. Let's see. because I want to know. I want my tags. I want my icon.
There's a lot of approved.
Oh, look. So all right. So we can, awesome. All right. We have anonymity allowed. That passed with 42% and 14 voters. Awesome. Participate.
Do you need me to make a copy with Den banner?
Yeah. So there's a banner that apparently hasn't been approved yet.
No, our banner's up there.
It's already gone in there. Let's see. A tag for live content. Good. We got tags. Those all passed. Good. Reputation approved. All right. So this is our reputation requirements for the layer.
Damn it. I want to tell John that he can't make a banner to put up there, but I can't tell him that because he could make a banner and upload it and it'll probably get voted on because people like to watch us suffer.
It'll get voted on. Yeah.
He's already making a banner. Like it's happening as we speak.
I'm not making a banner. I think my internet's just like shitting the bed right now.
Well, you're still here, so
okay. Welcome back, I Am for I Am. Hey, look, some of our stuff that we did last week, I Am for I Am, has passed, like the reputation settings and stuff.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Exactly.
Greetings. Cool.
So what else passed? Anything not passed? Probably not.
So did the banner hasn't passed, or the profile?
Maybe not yet. Okay, banner still.
Banner's there, profile picture not.
It says approved.
But it's not there yet, right?
It ain't there yet, man. Why not?
It's there for me.
I'll have to go back and look at
it. Por qué?
Yeah. Okay. For why? This one has not passed yet.
I like that one.
Ending.
The coffee mug is perfect.
It's got 14 voters. Nobody's against it. It's got 34% of the vote. I guess, is there a timeout? I don't know. It'll work. It'll happen.
No one will go.
Let's go back to the layer and maybe I'll refresh and see. Sometimes it takes a minute.
The banner's definitely there for me.
Do one of these Control-Shift-R and then I'll look. Hey, there it is.
It's right there.
All right. I love it when something works because earlier I was saying, hey, sometime during the show, these things are going to start turning on because it expires after 1 week. If it doesn't get over 50% of the vote one way or the other, it just takes after a week. It's like, all right, here's everyone who's voting. And then it wins if it's, more than half.
That means we just captured a passive vote on camera live.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
good.
John. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. I was listening to you guys while I was driving the youngest to school.
Wait, hold on.
God,
your youngest listen to us.
You subject them to this?
Yeah, I did.
I did. Just short and sweet. Yes,
absolutely. So he will off to school in the right frame of mind.
Oh God!
Not knowing what a conspiracy theory is.
Knowing that there's some scraggly, bearded people on the internet that are just talking about cryptocurrency and social media.
Yeah, exactly. He's well versed.
Dad's weird internet friends.
That's right.
Proud to be.
You know what? At least this is like the kind of weird internet friends to have. I wouldn't want it to be a different kind.
It could be worse.
I mean, it could be like something else within.
It's true. You could be doing a whole podcast based around the eroticism layer.
Yeah.
You know what's funny and unrelated is I just corrected my system time in the middle of this live stream, and it confused StreamYard, and I don't know if I can press any of the buttons or even end the stream now.
What?
Wow.
We might have to be here forever.
Oh no.
That's funny.
We can never leave. It's just the permanent Coffee with Den episode.
Well, I was wondering why, so Odysee, the stream got messed up over there, and I was wondering why it said that we had been live for 5 hours. I was like, gosh, have we?
Jesus, time got away.
And then I realized, my system time was all wonky, so I unwonked it. And then I noticed that I can't take down, I can't remove my screen share from the screen right now or anything like that.
I like it. I kind of like that everything's broken for you now. It goes along with our normal coffee stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, here we are. We better settle in. We're here now.
Big kudos to you, Dave, for getting us all set up on Odysee.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I needed to do that for a long time. So
I knew nothing. I just popped in 5 minutes before the show started and was like, "What are we doing?"
Easy.
Also, hello to Jared Houston in the comments.
So, John, update us on your move. How you doing?
Yeah, how's life?
You living out of cardboard boxes because everything's getting packed?
Everything is not currently getting packed, and that's the problem. I'm pretty far behind on packing. I've got a lot of packing to do.
I procrastinated until the last 2 days, and that's when I started packing my house.
Well, like I have so much furniture to get rid of. So my dad is just like I hate selling furniture, or selling anything on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. Because like I get people that are like, "Hey, I'd love to buy your bed, but I don't have any money, and I live in Ocala.
Can you drive it to me?"
Yeah, it seriously happened. I'm like,
you're kidding me?
No,
like, no, I won't.
Like, or like, hey, I live in Orlando and I don't own a car. I'm like, this probably isn't the bed for you.
It's like, then don't contact me.
Yeah.
Side note, I could go for some furniture, so let me know about that.
Oh my God, please come take it. What do you need?
Anything. I mean, at this point, I could use a table. I could use some shelving.
I've got tables. I've got shelving. I've got fridges. I've got do you want booze? I'm literally just giving away booze.
Dave's like, "Hi, booze. I don't drink, but Dave will take it." Jokes aside, I'll set up a time and I'll come bug you sometime this week and look at some stuff.
Please. The movers come Saturday, so just before then.
Oh yeah, Jackie will be happy to come and take a look at some stuff too. So
please.
I live in Mexico, and I don't have a car, but I would really like it if you could deliver through the barrios, maybe a coffee table.
You have no idea how many people I just block. I'm just like, no.
Just out of spite, like I hate this. Like, screw you.
Well, how would you ask that question? That kind of thing.
One of my favorite series, like they'll keep if you don't respond, I'll like just not respond. And they're like, are you ignoring me? I'm like, you're not a fucking ex. Like, what are you talking about? You're a random person on the internet asking
like I've never met
things.
You.
Go away. Yeah, so my dad's dealing with that. Yeah, so like the movers come Saturday. Our official move-in date is Thursday.
So you're in New York next week.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So if you want to see me, we gotta hang out before that.
Yeah, we gotta get. I owe you money, so we should probably.
Yeah,
I owe you money, so I want a free couch.
We should
not like a little bit either. But
we should probably
like $20.
We should probably all like get together somewhere and like do like food or something because you're gonna be gone. And we all gotta have our. We'll get like a nice picture.
No, I owe you. I don't know if you even remember, John. I owe you like $550.
Yeah.
He's
That's
aware.
why I said it wasn't a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Plus, every episode of this we've ever done and not been paid out on. But
that's a good point.
Well, that I can. I need to account for. And then like I said, I haven't looked at payouts in months.
I forgot that my face on this banner is just like the top of my eyes poking out. Top on the actual
one with the video. Banner. Where's the one with the video? Because now that we're talking about it, I want people to watch it. The improv show is not showing up when I search for improv.
It is right there.
Oh wait, that's episode 5 improv. Does this go to the Den? No, yeah, this goes to the YouTube thing, but it's on Den too. You know what? I'll bring it back up in case you missed it post or something, because this show, like we made money on this show, and I owe you like over $500 for all of this stuff. So this is an example of a successful event that, even though I haven't paid out for it, it was profitable. And
you made plenty of money.
And it was really great. And the recording is great too. It's on Den somewhere. It's on YouTube.
I didn't even know that we made a good amount on that.
No,
one.
that's different. That's
mine. If you go to mine,
that is John Does Improv.
Yeah, you click there.
Follow John on John Does Improv on YouTube on the internet, but also on Den. I swear it's in there too. So let me scroll back to the top. I know it's in there.
Yeah, it's right there.
This is it. Yes. Cool. So
that was fun.
Go to the Gainesville layer, search for improv, find this one, Improv Comedy Extravaganza Live.
I can't tell, honestly, if I liked the improv show or the Savant show. Like, they're tied right there for like
what you're saying. They're different animals.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I had somebody in here the other day in the store that I was playing a Savants of Soul song over the radio, and they were singing it in the store. So I popped my head out and I was like, "Hey, I know who those people are." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that guy's my trumpet teacher or whatever." So yeah, interesting thing from just Gainesville people.
Yeah, the audio turned out to be I got to rewatch it because it was funny for sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good day.
Hold on. That guy is my trumpet teacher.
Yeah,
the one person that plays trumpet in the band is a female.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe it's not a trumpet. Listen, it's one of them instruments that makes the burnt noise. All right.
They got a horn section.
It's probably Jacob. Okay.
It was the trombone. I guess he was like a trombone or some type of like tutor or something.
Are you just watching it without the audio?
Yeah, I was. Because I was going to ask you, do you mind if we upload this onto Odysee?
Yeah, go for it.
I just like take this and be like, look what I made, but it isn't mine.
Sure.
I don't know because we didn't decide on any rights associated.
Are you doing this for like through Coffee with Den?
So that's a good question. Because with Coffee with Den, I do want to start hosting more content, and this is what we should probably go out with. Is I wanted to talk about the layer going forward. Mm-hmm. So Coffee with Den, I want to start copying a lot of what World Blockchain Roundtable has done, where you reward with ownership and stuff like that. But also, anybody can treat this as a sort of a water cooler for Den also, where we can post some of our own casual content. For example, maybe I'll post some of my own, and I even have I've got another channel on Odysee too. That's my personal one that I can separate. This will be Wednesday still, 9 a.m. But then I'm also going to post in some pre-recorded stuff. Maybe I'll get an interview in. Maybe I'll interview some of the people that I talk to a lot, but I never do a formal interview with. That could be interesting. And then maybe I'll do one called Here's What I Think, where I just have something that I think about a lot, that I have a lot of opinions about, and I'll just, here's what I think. And it's inspired by James from Angry Video Game Nerd. He has a series that I love called You Know What's Bullshit?
Bullshit.
And he just talks about like how DVD cases are terrible and, whatever. But yeah, so stuff like that. And I invite you, John, specifically because I like your work. And so if you want to publish something on Den to get some matter for it, you can do that in the coffee layer. And then we can all benefit from that because we'll take 5% of whatever you earn and distribute it among all of the layer owners.
Sounds good.
Right. So
yeah, I've been writing late night jokes. So like the little like this week in the news, I've been writing a bunch of those lately, preparing to dive into the world of late night comedy writing. So it'll be great. I was like, I should make a show, but that sounds like a lot of work.
That sounds like it would take a long time.
Yeah, I'll just do a show and you can write my jokes.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You like the Colbert or
not to toot my own horn or anything, but they're pretty good.
Well, I'll put a little picture up, and I'll make like the SNL weekend update. Where I'll make half true and half joke about it.
Yeah, I would like to see your jokes with your NFT artwork. I think that would be top notch.
That's what it is. My NFT artwork now needs like an audio recording of Dave saying the joke. It would be great. That's it.
Like his line delivery for it instead of yours.
It'll be great. I don't see any problems with this whatsoever.
Oh, that's loud.
That isn't a bad use case because then people could own the joke if they like it.
There you go. Well, that's a great segue for the humor layer. No, sorry.
we did get, so there is a humor layer. We did get new layers. What did we get? We got conspiracy theories. We got anime manga. And we got another health and nutrition or some health related layer as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, I am for him, but we don't really do segues.
Oh,
we just kind of speaking of this, here's something completely different.
No, here's how I do segues. Speaking of whatever you just said, I'm sick of talking about it, and we should go talk about something else. And I'll just say like when John came on,
and then I just bring it back to what we were not talking about.
Right.
What we were trying not to talk about. It was great. Yeah.
It's awesome.
But yeah, I move. Yeah. So I move, I guess I move like Sunday, Monday is like when we start driving up because we're driving up there.
Wow.
to New York. So it'll be great.
It's a hell of a drive.
I'll try to make the show also when I can. Hopefully I get a job that takes my time from 9 to 11 on Wednesdays.
I can see that being ideal.
Yeah, unless you find something else for me that I can make I can't think of something where it's like, you know what, we're gonna give you 9 to 11 on Wednesdays off so you can do your podcast with your friends.
That's how I have this time off. Because I told my boss, I was like, yo, I need some time.
You say time off as if you're not at work.
I'm at the store actively right now. And when I worked for Amazon, I told them I wasn't going to deal with. I was like, Wednesdays from 9 to noon, I can't work.
Well, that's like I don't know. For what I want to do, I don't think that's going to be.
Yeah, no, you're not a chance in hell. You've got some much more higher echelon type work, I guess we'll go with.
And as much as I enjoy this show, I don't think I would. If I get a job that I like, I don't think I'm going to pick this show over the job.
God, no.
If I'm writing for something that's fun or funny, I'm probably going to pick that.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you should publish here. Whatever you're doing, you should publish it here or let us know what you're doing and stuff so we can find it over there. We have, there's actually a group called, I think they're called Den.social in New York that we're talking to about Den. They have a lair that's been opened called Artistry DAO, and they're based in New York, and they do workshops. They've got a couple of galleries, like NFT galleries, where they're doing some work with. I'm not sure what the partnership's about there, but I was going to say we have a presence in New York, so maybe you can go host a Den meetup for us, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I will.
That sounds run one of the improv shows we can run from New York.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Those guys would be probably a good resource to hit up and ask, like, hey, where are the spots? Kind of thing.
I've already got a team. I already got teams up in New York.
Okay, you don't need my team. For improv. You got people. All right.
Well, no, for improv, not for crypto stuff.
Gotcha.
I think just keep it crypto teams.
This is making me think now, because so I've been doing a lot of like writing for late night, and it's basically what you do is you take news headlines and make that your setup, and then you add a punchline to it. And for a long, I went days. I'm like, I can't find news headlines that I like, and I was doing all the stuff that like advice that they gave us, which was like go on Twitter and see what's trending. Go to like AP magazine and like top like newspapers and stuff like that and take their headlines. What I found that worked really well was Reddit.
I can see that.
You go, it's already filtered down by what people like, and
presumably,
like the stuff with the catchy title is already getting filtered to the top because people are going through and upvoting it already. So
I see. You can see what's attracting people to vote on stuff.
Yeah,
up or down. Just what has the interaction, what has the engagement, what drives people to engage.
Yeah, and if you look at like the ones that are like entertainment and politics, when it comes to Reddit, they don't have their own titles usually. Usually, the title of their post is just the title of the news article. So
correct. Yeah.
I'm not having to go through this like some other layer of bullshit to get to what I need. So it's like, is there like a cryptocurrency magazines and newspapers and stuff like that and like sites I should read? It's like, I'll write late night jokes when it comes to. I was like, I want to try writing late night jokes just for cryptocurrency people.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's a niche, but it's a rabid niche. You know what I mean? Like. There's you might watch Satoshi Sean has a crypto meme review. Well, he'll just take the latest memes, which typically are surrounding the latest news cycles in crypto kind of thing. So like stuff like that where people will summarize this week in crypto or like he has the crypto meme review or something like that. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I typically you wouldn't want to I'm just obsessive about the internet and I read everything possible. So I don't know where there's a good, because I don't like boiled down lists because I'm paranoid and I feel like that's just what they want me to read.
Well, these are like jokes on what's happening, right? So if you had like a cryptocurrency talk show, I feel like a lot of them are like they're entertaining, but usually it's just like friends sitting around talking about cryptocurrency.
That's what I should do in the coffee layer. Because I was, there's the here's what I think idea, which could just be one-off, like 5-minute episodes. Or what I have wanted to do for a while, which would take a lot of work, is basically do a Gamers Nexus, but not as good as that, about cryptocurrency and blockchain, where it's more of an engineering discussion about like the actual, here's how this shit works. Because Steve from Gamers Nexus does a lot of news stuff too, and he interviews relevant people about things they're building, and he talks about current events and things like that. So you just gave me the idea. It's like maybe that's something else that I can start up in the coffee layer.
You mean like a segment? Like a segment would be like a 30-minute segment on what's happening in crypto.
Yeah, what's happening in the, without trying to be necessarily like all inclusive, it would basically be, here's what's happening in the different networks that I care about personally, because there's things that I always pay attention to. There's things that I always like, oh man, for example, like Skynet Labs lost funding and shut down, which is sad to me because they have really excellent technology, and the underlying tech is still there and it's open source and it's available. But like, gosh, that was such one of those things that I was so excited about, and it sucks to see that happen. So and nobody really talked about it. I didn't see it anywhere, because it didn't have anything to do with charts. It didn't have anything to do with like, people making money. It had to do with a very valuable piece of technology that had initial funding, but the funding dried up because of whatever reason. They have a whole blog post about it. So maybe just talking about stuff like that, because I think it's interesting.
Was that the SIA people?
And I wonder if I could do jokes about, that's SIA. So SIA's still there and everything. That's fine. And even the portals are still active, and you can, there's updates, and there's a team that's going to be continuing updates. They're just the funded, here's money for a bunch of dev hours is dried up, basically.
SIA's been around for a long, long time. I remember investing, trading that coin back.
So maybe, John, you could help me with some headline jokes where I'll do a segment in that, where it's like, because I love Weekend Update. It's my favorite part of Saturday Night Live. I even whenever, like, Stefan was one of my favorite characters. I love the recurring characters that come on, and some of the jokes are terrible, but some of them are really funny too, and some of them are pretty like under the radar political too.
Yeah,
they get pretty. Sometimes they get pretty edgy. I've also noticed. So every like writer kind of has a different style, and I've realized that my style is in the form of Weekend Update, because I'm not a stand-up comedian really. I don't really think that way when I write as much, and I don't watch enough late night television to know that. But I've watched a lot of SNL, so it's all like, here's a picture, and here's like the commentary on the thing.
Because they almost always do what you described, which is they'll give an actual true headline, and then they'll make an untrue or less true joke about it because it's funny, but it's related, and it's So you actually it's interesting because you do get to be made aware of things that are happening. You're just going to have to go look into what really is going on, because it's not really a news show. It's funny.
Yeah. So I'll write that for you. They're fun.
I guess I'll have to pay you and everything, though. All right. Well,
because you've been so good about that so far.
Yeah, I've been so consistent.
Also, just want to throw it out there. If you go to the Den layer, there's a new governance thing that's popped up. So don't forget to vote there.
Okay.
Why do I feel like that was really quickly just thrown in?
Did you open a discussion over in Den about the right clicking? Is that what it was?
Oh, no, I didn't do that. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't sound like me. Anyway.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up, guys.
Cool.
Unless anybody has anything they want to cover real quick.
Oh my God! I'm gonna vote yes on that, John. Go check his coffee with Den post, and that can be our end card.
There you go.
Oh, it's in coffee.
It's on the coffee layer.
It's on the coffee layer.
Oh, it's in the coffee layer.
in the coffee.
Also, if you're watching this, go subscribe to this layer. You're not automatically subscribed. You have to go subscribe to the layer.
I voted yes.
Should you be on the show?
I like the one that just says, "What's coffee with Dan?"
I guess I'll keep you around.
Should he be on this show?
I think I have the most, but I still only have 10%. So this is an exercise in fair distribution as well.
Yeah, what was my percentage? I didn't have
0.75.
Like 7.5 or something. I think that's actually true.
So we're going to vote you in, which means you do have to turn down your job in New York, because we're going to say in our governance here, we're going to say you have to be on the show.
Just wait for the next governance decision. Should John get paid for it?
Should John get paid? Oh, I know I'm voting on that one.
Should Dave get off his ass and count up the matter that we've all earned and distribute it fairly amongst the hosts? Probably.
Should we give him a time limit to do that by?
But here's the other thing too: we lose interest because you get money, you get matter based on how much matter you have. So by not having the matter in our wallet, you're not getting interest on said matter. So we're not being able to be compounded. We also then can't take that matter, which then turns into energy. So therefore, we have less energy to actually influence and vote on people. So really, this is just a way that the man keeps you down.
Really,
this is a compounding problem.
Oh my God! I like how you've turned Dave into the government now. Like he's the governmental entity of our cash.
It's a fantastic illustration of what happened. So that's fine.
Yeah, you just stay. What is it? You're just around long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, we're gonna unleash 87,000 matter agents, and they're gonna be armed to come after you.
Oh no!
Yep. All right. So,
all right, y'all.
Speaking of IRS jokes, here's our segue into the end of the show. Thanks for joining us for our first episode on Odysee. I'll work out whatever kinks we had. I think part of it was my system time reporting incorrectly, and Odysee thought we were on for 5 hours, and then it was like, okay, shut up. Which is honestly,
Hey Dave. Hey Dave.
Hey.
Don't kink shame. It's okay. You know what? If you're into having a different time, I get it. That's totally okay as long as you're not hurting people.
Sometimes
everything should be UTC anyway, so that's fine. But tune in next week, Wednesday. Throw some ideas you have up in Coffee with Den. You are all owners now, so you have a say in that. And we'll be back with a different topic next week, and we'll probably talk about whatever the proposals have been, because proposals for new layers are open, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they're open again. So if you have something that's not in the list, you can go put it in the list for this week, and then you can get voted on, and then you can be an owner of it, and then you can get all of that matter income, and then you can just learn how to use Den, and I can keep saying things that you can do. But yeah, let's get out of here. Thanks, Gravity Crab. Thanks, T Swift or Die. Thanks, I Am for I Am. And everybody in private chat that we did not acknowledge, or in YouTube chat. Joe, Jared, Hyro, thank you. I was just talking about Cryptosocios in New York. That's one of our New York people over there.
Oh, and I figured that's probably who that was.
And thank you, like Queen Lisa from earlier.
Oh yeah, that was really fun.
Earlier, I forget things. That's what I do.
She looked like a CIA agent, but like,
yeah, she's
so cool.
That's fighting PETA or something. That's just like, it's got this giant fur coat looking.
I love the giant, like the aviators, the robe and aviators. I have a blast.
Awesome. I was thinking she's like a British agent or something.
Yeah, speaking of agents, thank you for watching. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, thanks to the FBI.
Great question.
Wouldn't you lose your mind if you got like a little thumbs up popped up in the corner after you said like to the agents watching?
Ding. Yeah.
Ding. Oh God, that's not even a feature.
Hey, you got a thumbs up. That's a good thing. I'd be psyched.
Yeah, totally.
The feds like me.
Think about all the different people we're hitting with this show. We got people who like coffee. We got people who like conspiracies. We got people who like the internet. We got people who like clicking things with their mouse. And we've got FBI.
Got the feds.
Yep.
Got all the bases.
All right.
Safe travels, John. Safe travels, John.
Thanks.
Here's a song by Y'all Weird called Enter the Dragon. And we'll see you next week. Thanks again. Bye.
will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.